Hold on.
All right, Mel, girlfriend. All right, guys, I'm Mel Yannikis, and on behalf of myself and Candace Talbot and our Rockstar Empire team, we would like to welcome you to tonight's call. We have a really special guest tonight that I'm so excited about. This coach has been inspiring me since day one, since I started this business. She's somebody who I started seeing her post, and I just connected with them on so many levels. And as a new coach a few months back, I actually reached out to her, and she was gracious enough to let me run some ideas by her and give me feedback. And she's an amazing mom of three, a wife. She's a certified health and nutrition coach. And she just has so much insight on so many different aspects of this business. Tonight, though, she is going to be speaking to us about Shakeology and how she talks about it to her customers and how she presents it with confidence. So this coach, she's also a 2012-2013 elite coach. She's a combined 10-star diamond, and she's also an SC5 All-Star. She started back in July of 2011. And most recently, she was actually just announced as a presenter at Summit. So this year in Vegas, yeah, which is awesome. So guys, we have Seay Stanford on the call with us today. I'm so excited. Seay, thank you so much for joining us. We are so honored to have you with us tonight, and the floor is all yours.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I'm honored that you invited me to your call, and I get to meet a lot of your team and your coaches. And I absolutely love Bob Lucido and Keith and Lou and all those guys. So I love anything I can do to help support their business and their team. I'm all about. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about me. As Mel said, I started in July of 2011, and I was actually a customer for a year before I joined. So I'm one of those ones that, Lindsay Matt was my sponsor, but she told me that she was like in her top, like one of her top people that she had on her wish list of people that she'd want. And I kept blowing her off. I loved Shakeology. I drank it for a year, but I didn't want anything to do with the business. So back up, I'll tell you guys a little bit of my story. So I did what so many of us are taught to do as kids. You grow up and you go to high school, you go to college, you get a 4-year degree, and then you go look for that corporate job and stay there till you're 60. And that's what I did. So I got my degree and I worked for Enterprise Rent-A-Car for about 3 years. And then I went into pharmaceutical sales, and I did that for 10 years. And initially it's great. It's a very sexy job. You get a flashy car, you get great benefits, great money, this and that. But the industry really started to wear on me, and having to get up and basically, I call it the golden handcuffs, because when you're making 6 figures with a company and you're not happy, and no matter where you go, it's going to be the same issues. Saying, well, you have to fly here and you have to do this. You have to do so many dinners with doctors on nights during the week, and on the weekends entertain them and do this. And I really felt like they owned my life. But what was I going to do? And in the beginning, it wasn't too bad. Then I had my first child. Then I had my second child. And it just, it wore on me. 10 years going by, it wore on me. And so we were bought out by Pfizer, and my territory was changed to 2 hours north of where I live. That was my closest sales call, was 2 hours north. And so that meant leaving the house at 6 o'clock every morning. And I couldn't take it anymore. So I said, you know what, I'm done with this. And I left. And I didn't have a backup job. So that's not the way I would plan on doing it. But I knew in my heart that there had to be something better out there, that I had more autonomy, more freedom. I felt like I had my own life to design, and that I was my own boss, but I had no idea what that opportunity was. So it was 2 years later, I found Beachbody and became a coach. So the other part of my story is when you see so much. Now, I sold diabetic drugs. So I sat there for hours every day looking in the eyes of these stage 3 diabetic patients that have had their legs amputated. And if anybody of you have diabetes that runs in your family or end stage, it's not a pretty disease. It's very sad, because people's legs start to have to get amputated, and they have heart disease, and they start going blind, and all of that. And I remember feeling so sad that here I was carrying this bag of pills that wasn't going to get them better. It wasn't going to reverse any of this. It was just going to make it fine enough as it progressed. And I remember thinking, if there was some way I could have helped these people 10 years ago, this could have been prevented, because it's such a terrible disease with diet and exercise. And in my heart, that was the passion. So my why, my drive is truly to reach as many people as possible and spread the word that so much disease and all the things that go with it can be prevented. I mean, there's so much chronic stuff that can be prevented. So that's really my passion. So I found Shakeology. I looked at all the ingredients, and a lot of the superfoods I was buying at Whole Foods anyway. So when I realized that this bag had everything in it already, and I understood the bigger picture behind it, to me, it was a no-brainer. So I drank it for a year. So that is really, truly my passion. I started Beachbody not so much for the fitness programs. I started for Shakeology. So when I became a coach in July of 2011, I hit Success Club 10 at least every single month. And I did not sell one fitness program. I just sold Shakeology HD, hand over fist. I loved it. So as you can see, that's my passion, and I understand a lot about Shakeology. So what I'm going to share with you guys tonight is how I share it to customers. I don't want to say never, because it's an absolute, but it's rare I ever get priced as an objection. When my people go on Shakeology, they stay on it. I don't drop rank, because my coaches all start with Shakeology, and they have solid businesses because they're passionate about it. Probably not as much as I am, but they get it. So that's what I'm going to share with you guys tonight. So first is starting off with value. If people don't see value in a product, it doesn't matter. If they see value, price doesn't matter. And if they don't, it matters a ton, right? So think of a Louis Vuitton handbag, right? People will go spend money on a Louis Vuitton handbag, and they can get a handbag at TJ Maxx, right? But they have a perceived value. Value doesn't have to be real. It's perceived. Same thing with a Lexus compared to a Toyota. I mean, essentially it's the same car, right? But there's a perceived status with a Lexus than there is a Toyota. So value is perceived. And if someone perceives it, they will pay extra for it. Okay. So that's the trick here, is showing someone value, how it's going to fit into their life, and how they can afford it, and why they should want it. So my first tip is to differentiate. So you want to differentiate Shakeology in two ways. Number one, never, ever, ever let someone believe it's a protein shake, because everyone thinks it's a protein shake, and it's not. And if you can separate the fact that it's a protein shake, then you don't have to compete with a product that is just a protein powder, because that's all it is. Most people are not protein deficient. They're nutrient deficient. So it becomes a moot point that all these people are buying protein shakes. And I think a lot of it's media driven, that they use the word protein shake like they use Q-tip, like it just covers any kind of shake. It must be a protein shake. So differentiating that Shakeology is not a protein shake. My second tip is never sell it solely as a weight loss product, because you're just like everybody else, right? So this is why you're going to back yourself into a corner and not be able to get out if you market Shakeology for weight loss. Number one, everything out there is like slim fast. Everything's weight loss, weight loss, weight loss, right? So let's say somebody says, okay, I want it for weight loss. Then they lose the weight. They're at their goal weight. Now what? Now what? I can go off Shakeology. I don't need it anymore because it was for weight loss? No, they need it long term because it's about good nutrition, right? So plus you limit your market. So if it's about weight loss, you're making your market just the market that wants to lose weight. Not everybody needs to lose weight. Everybody needs to be healthier, and everybody needs nutrition, right? This just makes it super easy. So those are your two differentiators. It's not just for weight loss, and it's not a protein shake. Okay, this is how I create the need for people. And I have this conversation with every single customer. So I tell a story that we've all been down. So raise your hand. How many of you guys have been on a diet before? Right? We've all been on a diet, right? I mean, obviously everybody. So think about when you've dieted and how you feel, right? Number one, you've got to get lower, you got to break, you have to really reduce your calories, right? So when you reduce your calories, people don't realize, well, I must be reducing my volume of nutrition too, which you are. You're supposed to get 2,000 calories worth of nutrients a day, according to the RDA. And now you're maybe eating 1,500, or for men, I see there's some guys on the call, you guys need more. Well, when you're going to reduce your calories, subsequently, you're going to reduce your volume of nutrients. So even on a great day, you're probably not getting all the quality nutrients your body needs anyway, right? So we've all dieted. So you reduce your calories. When you reduce your calories and your body's not getting what it needs, then you start having cravings. Cravings are just your mind's way of saying, I need more nutrients. I need more nutrients. Feed me more nutrients. And we manifest them as cravings. So you're having cravings. Then you're tired, because you're not getting the nutrients to fuel your body, so you feel sluggish. And you have this mental fog, like you don't think clearly, and you just don't feel great. You're kind of irritable. All that happens when you're nutrient deficient. So people are trying to lose weight. I mean, how many of you have felt that way when you try to lose weight? You feel crappy. And if you feel crappy, you're not going to want to stick with something for a month, 2 months, not even a week. And so now you're out with your friends. Here's the weekend. You've been doing so great. And your friends are eating chicken wings and pizza at, the local pub. And you're like, I'm grouchy, I'm irritable, and I want that. And you eat it. And then you're like, oh, I'm such a failure. I'll start again on Monday. That's the cycle, right? So if people feel good and they feel that they're not having cravings or any of that, they're going to stick with it, right? So this is exactly how I paint it. So if you guys understand it, you can verbalize it in your own way to customers, right? And they're all like, when I'm talking, they're like, yeah, I feel that way. Okay, well, Shakeology isn't some magic shake. You're not going to drink it and like, whoop, there went a pound, and whoop, there went another pound, right? It's not magic. All it is really, really good nutrition condensed into a 160 calorie shake. So here's the trick, is you're able to cut your calories down without sacrificing those nutrients. So now you're getting all those nutrients, but you're able to reduce your calories. If you don't need to lose weight, that's fine. Then just up the calories of your Shakeology, make it like a 300 calorie meal. If you're doing Body Beast, or maybe your grandparents are drinking Ensure and they maybe need to gain weight, that's okay. Then make Shakeology a 500 to 600 calorie shake. All you've got to do is add almond butter, avocado, any kind of clean omega-3s you can add to the shake for more calories. But the base is nutrition, right? So if you're giving your body nutrition, it's not going to be screaming. You're not going to have cravings. How many of you have had challengers? They're like, God, I feel great. My cravings have gone away, right? That's why. Their cravings have gone away because they're giving their body what it needs. They have more energy. They feel better. So what happens when you feel better, you have energy, you think clearly, and you don't have cravings? You tend to do more, exercise more, and weight loss becomes a byproduct of feeling good. And if you feel good, you're going to stick to something. So does Shakeology make you lose weight? No. But it makes the whole process easier, so you're more successful and you feel good because you're fueling your body right. So that is how I create value to my customers, because it's simple nutrition. It's something all of you guys can understand and verbalize to people and teach them, because we've all been there where we're nutrient deficient while we're trying to cut calories. And you're also not positioning it to where it's just for weight loss, because you can position it to the kids. You can position it to the husband. Anybody can drink Shakeology. It's just that condensed nutrition that makes it easy, right? So I always tell people it's so nutrient dense, it's the equivalent of 5 plates of salad. And I know you guys have heard that in the advertising, but that speaks volumes to people, because who wants to freaking eat 5 plates of salad, right? You're not going to even do that on a good day. You wouldn't want to. So this makes it super easy. Or if they don't like vegetables. So So that's where it positions in. So at that point, if I'm talking to somebody about a challenge pack, I'm like, do you see how this product can fit in, how Shakeology fits in to make this whole thing easier? And here's the best thing, is it's one less meal you've got to make, right? People are all stressed out. I don't have time to food prep. I don't know what to eat. Oh, I don't understand. That's great. You don't have to. Drink this and it's all taken care of. Your body's going to get what it needs. So not only are you getting a meal, you're also getting all the vitamins you need for the entire day, right? And at this point, they're like, oh my God, how much is this? Is this like $10 a day? And I'm like, no, it's only $4.20. And you're reversing it. So when you sell the value first, they're thinking it's like, oh my God, I'm getting vitamins, I'm getting a meal, I'm getting all of this. So when they ask for the price, I never tell them it's $130. I start with asking them questions. Well, what are your goals? Because I want to get to where I can share why this fits into and it's necessary for them regardless of what their goals are. So that's how I create value. So the benefits, obviously, it's easy, it's fast, it's the most nutritious meal that they're going to be able to put in their body, so it's going to make them feel better, so on and so forth. From that point, they typically buy an entire, so price. Let's say price comes up. So this is what I say. They're like, okay, well, how much is it? And I say, well, let me ask you this. How much, Mel, do you spend on one healthy meal per day on average? Most people, I'll tell you, they spend between $3 and $7, right? If you go to a restaurant and you order a salad, it's probably $9 or $10 plus tips, so on and so forth. But let's say, on average, their answer is going to be between $3 and $7 for a healthy meal. Yeah, they could eat ramen noodles for $1, but that's not healthy. So apples to apples, right? Well, Shakeology is $4.20. So this is right in that range, and it's actually on the low end of it. So it's replacing one of those healthy meals that they're having to create anyway, right? So you see how it fits in. And then I say, and guess what? You're going to get a bag of 30 of them. So unlike all these other meals you have to make where you have to keep going to the grocery store and preparing them, these 30 are set because you're getting them all at once. You can leave them on your counter and it's super easy. So you just buy them all in bulk. So let me tell you how I fit it in with me. I deduct it from my grocery budget because I'm buying breakfast every day anyway, and this is replacing my breakfast, so I deduct it from my grocery budget. And at that point, they're thinking $4.20 times 30, so they're already thinking it's like around where it is, and that's where I say, it's $129, but they've already deducted that in their head. So that's how I position Shakeology, if it's just Shakeology, but I always start with that because nutrition is 80% of the entire process, right? Is what we put in our bodies and how we feel, whether we're trying to lose weight or just feel great, okay? So second thing is, so that's value. All that's like under the value chunk, value umbrella. So to prove my point, I wanted to read something to you. This is actually published in a magazine, a medical journal that studied a bunch of people trying to lose weight, right? Okay. Micronutrients. So micronutrients are vitamins. Vitamin deficiency has been shown to cause an 80% increase, this is a medical journal, in the likelihood of becoming overweight or obese, and is scientifically linked to a high risk of other dangerous and debilitating diseases, including resistance to infection, birth defects, cancer, cardiovascular disease, and osteoporosis. So what does that mean? That means there's an 80% increase when people are nutrient deficient to all of those diseases, right? So again, that's just scientific data showing the importance of getting good nutrition in your body, right? So as far as sampling, you guys, I don't ever call them samples. I call them packets because samples denote free. And when someone gets something for free, they're less likely to appreciate it and value it, right? So here's the other thing where you're going to back yourself into a corner. If you give it to them for free, it's going to be really hard to have them then pay $130 for a bag, right? So you want to work your way, start high and work your way down based on commitment. So I say, you know what? Okay, great. You want to try it? Let me give you 4 or 5. They come in packets of 4 or 5 actually, or I'll say they're $5 each. How many would you like? And I usually do increments of 4 or 5. So I just tell them right off the bat, they're $5 each. How many would you like? And so if they're buying individual ones, it's $5. But if they buy a retail bag, it's $4.20. And if they become a coach, that's the greatest commitment. It's like $3 and something per serving, right? So you start with the least amount of commitment is the highest, and you work your way down. But if you give those things away, they're going to end up in that person's drawer, and they're not going to appreciate them, right? So if they're not going to spend $5 for one, give up thinking that they're going to spend $100 for a bag. It's not going to happen. So create value and then sell them for $5 each. I don't do more. I always do at least 4 or 5 because that's how long it takes for Shakeology to really start working in the body and for them to feel the difference. Okay, so that's how I position packets and stuff like that. Another tip I would suggest, a lot of you guys probably do this already, but show them how to make it. So I have a video that I send them of me actually making it, but most people, if they don't know how to make it, they're going to totally screw it up and it's going to be too thick or whatever. So whether you write it out and copy paste or whether you give them a video, show them how to make it and then follow up. Following up is key because so many shakes on the market are loaded with artificial flavors and they may not, their taste buds aren't going to be accustomed to natural flavors compared to some of this other stuff on the market. So letting them know that, at least then they can be like, okay, all right, so this is natural cocoa or this or that. Another thing with follow-up, here's a perfect example. I had this lady who started on Shakeology. She did 4 days. And I called her and I'm like, hey, how is it going? This and that. And she's like, you know what? It upset my stomach. It hurt. I got cramps. It hurt. You know, I can't drink it. You know, I would love to, but I can't. And I said, well, how did you make it? And she says, well, I used milk, blah, 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 blah. And I said, what kind of milk did you use? And she said, oh, fat-free, whatever, whatever. Okay. And I said, well, let me ask you something. How often did you drink milk prior to drinking Shakeology? And she goes, oh, rarely, like never. And I said, okay. And I said, are you lactose intolerant? And she goes, well, not that I know of. And I said, try mixing it with water or almond milk and tell me if it upsets your stomach. It didn't. So she, because she hadn't had milk in ages, had become lactose intolerant. And when she added milk to the Shakeology, she thought it was the Shakeology that was upsetting her stomach, not the dairy. So that's a great reason to follow up. And because people are putting, you know, they may be adding stuff to it without realizing that they're sensitive to it. So obviously following up. Okay. Why is this important for you guys as coaches in your business, right? Because I'm going to tell you, I've had coaches say, oh, you don't need to understand Shakeology. Just tell people to get on it for the challenge group and get your 2 Success Club points and you're out of here, you know, done. You got your points, haul ass and go find more next month, right? Okay. This is where it's so short-sighted when you look at that, okay? Because your coaches, this is about duplication. Your coaches, and if all of you on this call, I'm sure, are wanting to build a team, right? They're going to do what you do, right? So I had a coach. You guys all know who she is, so I can't say her name. I had a new coach call me one day, back when she was new, and she said, give me a hand style on Shakeology. I don't really know what to do. And I said, well, what was it about Shakeology that your sponsor said to you that made you really excited about it? And she said, well, nothing. He told me to get a challenge pack and order it with the packets and sell the packets as cleanses, and I could become a coach for free. So I've just been getting the coach. So she had no idea. And then that's what she's duplicating to her team. And that's what they're duplicating. So she's falling in and out of rank because all her coaches are falling in it because there's no belief system in the product, right? It's very short-sighted. If you do your work, you're on the front end. It typically coaches or customers become coaches, right? That's what we all want. They have the challengers, they become customers, they become coaches. What better coaches than ones that truly understand the value of the product, and they're going to duplicate that value. So you take more time on the front end with your customers And the natural progression is they're going to become stronger coaches for you and share that same duplication. So you're not falling out of rank. So you're not struggling with Success Club. So your downline's not struggling with Success Club. That is how I've become an elite coach. That's how I've become, actually I'll be 11-star combined Thursday, and knock on wood, I've not dropped rank because my coaches believe in the biggest continuity product Beachbody offers, and they're able to verbalize it with people, right? And I feel that that's made my business more unique and solid long-term compared to people that are like, you don't really need to know it, just tell them they need to be on it and take the path of less resistance, right? This is your business, guys. This is your business. So why wouldn't you want to like truly help people and help them understand how to have that solid foundation? So, two last things, right? Why Shakeology and what's the deal with the superfoods? Okay. So this is how Shakeology compares to everything else on the market. All right. And this is really easy because I get people message me all the time. How's it compared to Plexus or this or that and all these? And all you got to do is look for these ingredients on the label, right? All these other shakes on the market have artificial sweeteners, artificial stimulants, artificial flavors, artificial colors, soy. Some of them even have high fructose corn syrup. If it's got any of those, the shake is crap. And here's why. Because this is something that people are supposed to be putting in their bodies for health reasons, right? I mean, if their intentions are not to be healthy, then just go drink a Wendy's shake or go to Dairy Queen and get something really good. Like, just do it that way. But if their intentions are for a healthy shake, all these man-made chemicals affect your sleep patterns, your hormones, your cravings, your focus, and weight loss. Artificial sweeteners have been proven time and time again to make people gain weight, right? Because they increase your carbohydrate cravings, and artificial sweeteners also help store fat production, right? So here's people like thinking they're cheating the system with artificial sweeteners, and they're actually making it harder to lose weight. Most of these other shakes on the market have all of those. So what's the benefit to Shakeology? It doesn't have anything artificial in it. Nothing, nada. So there's no chemical manipulation in your body, in your health, in your digestive system, any of that. It's pure as pure can be. Is it a whole food? Yes. It's basically just dried foods that have been dried all these different ways to keep its integrity and put in a bag. So it's not fake food. It's truly like real whole food. Okay. And here's the deal with the superfoods, and this is what I'll end on. You guys don't have to know the superfoods, right? I know them because I took a lot of them before I even found Shakeology and was thrilled that they're already in it. But it's not necessary to know them. But this is what you do want to know so that you can share with your customers, okay? Right. This is what the superfoods do. Number one, three things, okay? They build your immune system. Those things on the back that are called adaptogens and phytonutrients, you don't even have to say it, but know that those superfoods have been used for thousands and thousands of years to build people's immune system, right? You notice when you drink Shakeology, you're not sick as often. So when your kids come home from school and they're sick, or you work in a setting where there's all these sick people, it's building your immune system. So when you have a strong immune system, you're not missing work, you're feeling great, and you're not getting sick as often, right? You become an internal powerhouse, right? That's what those superfoods do. Second thing the superfoods do that are in Shakeology, they reduce inflammation. Okay. And most of us think of inflammation like, bam, we hit our thumb and it's like the size of the Fred Flintstone thumb, right? That's what we think of inflammation. Inflammation is the number one cause of every single disease, whether it's migraines, eczema, heart disease, arthritis. It all starts with inflammation, internal inflammation. If you can reduce internal inflammation, a lot of diseases will heal themselves, right? Superfoods in Shakeology reduce inflammation. That is why people have think it's like some miracle thing that their migraines went away or their arthritis has gone away. It's because it reduces inflammation. That's it. But the benefit to reducing inflammation, Advil reduces inflammation, right? But it upsets your stomach. This does it naturally so people feel good, right? So that's the second benefit to these superfoods. Third benefit, last thing, is repairs your GI tract. How many women, like 80% of women actually struggle with digestive issues and IBS, right? Those probiotics and digestive enzymes are put in Shakeology because everything starts with the gut and how you absorb things. Most Americans are eating food and it literally goes right through us. Like nothing is absorbed, nothing is saved for nutrients, nothing is even benefiting us. It literally goes right through us. Our body doesn't even absorb it anymore because it's so clogged, like pipes, like a cloggy pipe. It doesn't even absorb food. Those digestive enzymes clean out your pipes and prime your digestive tract so you're able to actually soak up like a sponge all of those nutrients. So what that means is you're more regular, you absorb nutrients better, and you digest your foods better. So those are the main benefits to all those superfoods. So you don't need to know the superfoods, just know those 3 benefits: reducing inflammation, building your immune system, and helping your digestive system. Nothing else on the market has all of that. That is 100% natural for the price that we have Shakeology priced. It's a brilliant product, and I would love and embrace more people in the network to just really understand how magnificent it is and get everybody on it. So I am open to any questions you guys have or things that have come up. So right on.
Yeah, if anybody wants to step forward with questions, just unmute your mic and ask away.
I have a question. What happened to that video that you created that was amazing? I shared that to all of my people. That was my #1 go-to video that I loved, and now it's gone.
Mine too. Corporate made me take it down.
How come?
No, it has like 22,000 views because technically it wasn't against guidelines. Because coming from the pharmaceutical background, I was very wise with the way I did it. So I showed, like I specifically said, maca root has been used to help balance hormones or increase testosterone. Like I said, what it's been used for. I never said it does this or Shakeology does this. So I never made an absolute intentionally. But they said because I promote Shakeology, someone would conclude or connect the dots that maybe I'm implying Shakeology would do it, even though I didn't. And it was a slippery slope. And they were like, can you just take it down so that we can just not have to deal with.
That's a shame. That was really an awesome video. It's the only one that explains exactly what each of the superfoods does.
Yes, thank you. And, what I may do, because I know Greg Plaskett messaged me like 2 days after they made me take it down. He's like, where's your video? I need to send it to somebody. And what I may do is like re-upload it to a new link that corporate doesn't have.
Please do. Tell me when you do.
Underground.
That's what I did. I immediately sent Don an email. I'm like, what happened to that video? He's like, he didn't know either.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
That's my favorite video.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you can get it back up somehow.
Yeah. If I get it back up, it'll be like underground.
Yeah. Yeah. You won't tell anyone.
Yeah. Does anybody have any other questions, stuff that comes up there? There's not one question I can't answer. So
actually, I have a question. So I had a girl the other day, she got a couple samples from me. She loved it. And she's like, well, I'd be interested in doing the 7-day packages you have for $35. Like I'd be interested in doing it week to week because I know I just won't stick to it. And what I told her was, and I'd love your opinion on this, I said to her, my personal opinion is if you're not going to stick to it, then maybe you should find something else that you will stick to, because I didn't think that this was something that she should spend the money on and use it sparingly.
I do agree with you, because if you're not, it's just like with the exercise programs. How many of them sit there and collect dust? I mean, guess what? Nothing works if you don't use it.
Right. And that's what I said to her. I said, it's kind of like a workout. Like, you're not going to get good results unless you're consistent with your workout. And that's what I was saying with that too. And yeah, I could have I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
The only difference I think with her, if she had said that to me after I've been through what I've been through, I would say, you know what, even if you're not consistent with it, some days where you're at least getting that in you is better than not at all. Because you know, it's like some exercise, walking is better than nothing. You know what I mean? Even if it's 3 days a week, it's better than not putting anything in her body. So I would position it like that. And, you know, if she's already admitting she's not consistent, and maybe she'll start feeling the difference from when she goes off, and then realizes she needs to stay more consistent. But that's the only thing I would say, at least with Shakeology, something's better than nothing, but she's definitely not going to feel the full effect of it.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? Golden opportunity here.
Jay, I'm sorry. Do you feel like 4 to 5 days really is enough to start them on? Like I've had some people at work that I've started and they've done really well, but it really has taken like 2 weeks to feel the effects. And I'm a little bit afraid that if I offer it at 4 or 5 packs, then they may not start to feel those effects that would make them want to stick.
Yeah, you're right. So when I say 4 to 5 days, that's the minimum I'll do.
Okay.
So typically people buy an entire bag. But if they're like, well, if I just want a few flavors to see what I want, the minimum I'll do is 4 to 5 days. But absolutely, the more they're on it and that compound effect starts happening with their body, they don't feel good and then stop. Like they continue to feel better and better and better the longer they're on it.
Do you explain that to them, or do you just
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I am full disclosure with people. I'm very transparent, and I want them to understand the changes that they're feeling and appreciate them and not take them for granted, because I want them to realize that's the Shakeology that's doing that. Otherwise, they're like kind of expecting. See, here's the thing is our culture, our American culture, we're so conditioned for that immediate response. Like, you know, you have a sore throat, you take a pill. You know, you have high blood, you take a pill. Like everything happens within 10 minutes, 15 minutes of us taking a pill. And because Shakeology takes a while because it works on a cellular level, they're like, I just drank it. I don't feel any different. You know, so setting that stage that, hey, this is going to take 5 days, 2 weeks, a month of you being consistent. You've got to commit to it at least for 3 months if you want your blood work to go down. If you want to get off these blood pressure pills or these cholesterol pills, you've got to commit to this for 3 months. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Can you just explain how it works on a cellular level, like how you would explain that to someone? Like, doesn't know.
Because when your body is actually, once you prime your digestive system to absorb all those nutrients, then it's going to be distributed throughout your body and absorbed like a sponge. Your body's going to start like really soaking in all those nutrients. That's why when people are runners or they're working out, their body tends to recover faster because it's actually like working, you know? So when I say on a cellular level, I mean more of like that it's absorbed. It's not superficially going through the body. It's being absorbed into the body. You guys are on here. Do you guys, the men, do you guys have any questions as far as like calories? Like are you guys doing Body Beast or anything like that? You are? So how many calories are you making your shake?
Hey Shay, no, I'm not doing Beast. I've never done Beast before, but I did have a question for you, not regarding Shakeology, just a personal question, more about your team. Good to go. Basically, I don't really have a question I'm going to answer right now because, I mean, you've got a busy stuff going on and everything like that. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Candace, for inviting us on. We're not actually a part of the team, but we're always trying to grow. And everyone in Shay, I love everything you have to say, which kind of goes into, I want to know more about, you say you're 11-star diamonds?
Combined.
Amazing. So basically, I mean, I already sent you a friend request on Facebook. I would love to connect with you and hear about how you grow your team. But otherwise, like, you are on point, girlfriend, about Shakeology.
Thank you.
That's all I gotta say. I'm done.
Thank you. Well, Mel mentioned I did get certified in nutrition. I took a year-long holistic certification. So a lot of what I share is kind of more holistic based. Coming from a pharmaceutical, I kind of have completely gone the other side I really believe that food and what we put in our bodies really is the first line of defense for a lot of things. So thank you. I'll transition a little bit. How many of you guys are going to Summit? Okay, I'm going to give you, I had one of my girls that's going Diamond on Thursday morning. She's like, do I really need to go to Summit? I'm like doing this and doing that. And she's been a coach for 3 months. And I'm like, yes. She's like, well, you need to convince me why I need to go to Summit. So here we go. This is what I said to her. I hope I can deliver it as well as I did to her, because I was pretty pissed that she thought that she shouldn't have to go. But okay, so if you've not been to Summit, I'm assuming all of you guys on here are wanting to grow your teams, right? So just like, how are you supposed to sell a fitness program if you've not done it, or Shakeology if you're not drinking it? How are you supposed to sell getting to Summit next year in 2015 if you opted out to not go this year? I mean, right? So how are you going to speak from your own experience on what Summit was to you and what it did for you if you didn't go? And I'm going to tell you, it's different for everybody. So what Summit did for me the first year I went, the workshops are amazing. So they always say, like, I tell my coaches when they go to Summit, write down the things you want to improve. So if you want to improve your social media, or you want to improve your inviting, whatever it is, and then look at the itinerary of the topics and pick the ones that you want to improve on. Then look at the speakers. Who's running those workshops? And you find those coaches on social media and start following them. And that way you'll learn to see how they're building their business based on where you need to improve. Then you go to Summit and you actually hear them firsthand share all their best tips, like right there where you can raise your hand and ask them questions, right? You don't get that opportunity if you're going to write someone privately and be like, hey, Christina Delgado, can you tell me how you right? She's getting like 50 messages a day. So Summit is your opportunity in your platform to soak all of the best information in, right? On top of that, this was the bigger thing for me. My first Summit I went to, I saw Jason Diebold and I saw Bob Lucido, and, you know, I felt like, well, nobody knew who I was. And I'm looking at all these people and I was so starstruck, and I went up to them. They had no idea who I am. And I shook my hand. I said, hi, I'm Seay Stanford. You know, nice to meet you. I've heard about you, blah, blah, blah. And you're sitting next to people and you're like, oh my God, that's Christine Dwyer, you know, and you introduce yourself to people. You're not going to get that on social media. And so 6 months later, when Christine Dwyer does something and you write her and say, hey, she's like, oh yeah, that was that girl, or that was that guy. So you network yourself. You start promoting yourself within the business as a leader. You can't do that if you don't go to Summit. If you're just sitting behind your screen on Facebook and introducing yourself, you're one of a bazillion other coaches doing that. But there, where you have a heartbeat and you're making eye contact and you're smiling at people, that's a totally different way to network, right, with people. So that's another benefit that you're not going to get if you don't go to Summit. Another thing that I really got is, now Lindsay Matway and I have very different leadership styles. And so coming through her organization, I really focus on nutrition and I focus on health, and that is my passion. So when I went to Summit and I started seeing other leadership styles, I'm like, that's really cool how Barbie Decker does that. And that's awesome how Chris Ballmer does that. And you start talking to them in the elevators and, you know, in line, and you get little tiny tidbits of stuff that you're like, I can apply that. And you guys know what a melting pot is, right? So you become a melting pot of all the best things that you've heard by talking to people just in random situations. And that to me, like, really helped me grow my business, because it's like your parents, right? You think your parents do everything a certain way, and then you see other kids' parents and you're like, man, that's really cool how they do that. That's what Summit does on a leadership standpoint. So you don't get that if you don't go. Another reason for going is the core. So the core is where you get all your cool wear and share. So you get like sparkly Shakeology shirts and T25 stuff. You know, you can never find anything in the back office. It's always sold out and it's like not your size or it's crappy, right? You go to Summit and you get all the really cool stuff. That's where they hide it. And that's where you get it. And you can buy as much of it as you want and keep it for incentives for your team throughout the year. You don't get that if you don't go to Summit. You will also find out where all the new products are coming out. So I know some stuff that they're going to be launching at Summit, and you'll be able to try it and do it there at Summit. If not, you're going to be sitting at home waiting and ordering it, and hopefully it's not like the fix and you get it 3 months later. Right? Go to Summit. Last reason you want to go to Summit is this. Getting your picture with the celebrity trainers. If you guys are running your business on social media, having a picture with Shaun T or Autumn or any of these celebrity trainers is huge, because your audience is like, oh, Meg met Autumn? Oh my God, there's Meg and there's Autumn. I'm doing Autumn's program and Meg has her picture with her on her timeline. How cool. Like, you look like a celebrity along with these trainers. And it's awesome. It's a great presence for your Facebook, for your website, whatever media platform you have, to have your picture there with the trainers that your customers are doing their programs to. Guess what you don't get if you don't, right? Those pictures. So those are the reasons I gave my girl, and she's going to Summit. So I hope all of you guys go to Summit. It is truly like, if you guys have to room with other people or whatever it takes to get there, but man, it's so important for your business. It is huge. So I really hope, and if you guys are there, come up to me. I'm running the Shakeology workshop. Come up to me afterwards. I'd love to meet you in person. So that's all I got.
Okay, awesome. I'm totally going to be that creepy person that comes up to you and you're going to be like, who is this psycho Beachbody coach that just came up to me right now? Because I've totally done that to Lindsay twice. I'm like, hi, Lindsay. I'm Candace. Nice to meet you. That was such an amazing call. I have so many notes, and I feel so much more confident now about talking about Shakeology to people. And it's funny because I've been drinking it for 16 months, but this is all new information. Like, I feel like I can totally speak with confidence. This was great. Thank you so much for giving us the honor to hear you speak tonight. I mean, it was amazing. And hey, if you ever want to speak to us again and you have more ideas to share, I mean, it's no wonder you're a combined 11-star diamond. It's not surprising at all. Like, you should be a 50-star diamond.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, so Trey, to answer your question, I'm not a huge recruiter. I probably recruit 5 or 6 coaches a week. I'm sorry, not a week. I wish a month. But I move more slowly with them so that I want them to have more depth. I always say, I don't want you to skim your rose on the surface. I want your oars to go deep with this business. And so I want you to understand the bigger picture and think like a business person and understand how our products can truly change lives, and don't make people into Success Club points. Make them into like empowered people that are truly getting healthier. So they're not that person sitting in the doctor's office getting their legs amputated and you wishing you helped them 10 years ago, right? So that's more of my philosophy on how I run my business. And you know, I wouldn't have it any other way. That's how I've designed it. So yeah. So if you guys have any questions, by all means, you can message me, follow me on Facebook. I always post like some nutrition stuff, but what I've given you guys tonight is true, valid, real stuff that relates to everybody, and it's real. It's not like fluffy stuff that's bullshit and you can throw it on a wall and think it sticks. It's truly stuff that you can take. All right.
Yes,
Awesome.
Shay, I just want to say you definitely opened my eyes tonight, because I've struggled with weight loss for some time now, and I have to fight for every single inch and every single pound that I lose. And when I was turned on to Shakeology, it was sold to me as a weight loss shake. So I'll see the testimonials of some people that it does work. They lose 7 pounds in the first week, and that's incredible. But I'm like you, I'm very into the nutrition and healthy food aspect of it, because I believe that's where you need to start, and the working out will get you where you want to be, but it has to start in the kitchen. So I've been really struggling on how do I talk to somebody about Shakeology, because it didn't work for me as a weight loss shake. The only thing it has done for me is decrease my cravings. I don't think about chocolate chip cookies anymore. I want my Shakeology with a banana and peanut butter in my mouth right now. And the no-bake stuff. I try to tell people about that too, that it doesn't have to be a shake. It's versatile. You can make no-bake snacks with it, and jellos and puddings. And so really that's all I've been able to use as tools to educate people on it, But yeah, you really sparked something in me with this. So I'm excited. Hopefully with this new information, I can help more people. So thank you.
If you've got any nutrition questions, feel free to ask me. And my advice I would give is eliminate as many chemicals as possible. Like I mentioned artificial sweeteners, but even high fructose corn syrup is huge to eliminate, and it's in everything, because what it does is, yeah, I got a few minutes. I'll teach you guys this. High fructose, if you guys have any challengers, right? Anybody at all, and you really want to help give them a good head start, have them eliminate high fructose corn syrup in their diet, because here's the thing, it's in like diet salad dressing. So they're thinking they're putting diet salad dressing on, and they're actually, this is what it does, okay? High fructose corn syrup is like, well, people that promote it and say it's safe, they say it's just corn, which it is, but it's kind of the analogy of cocaine, right? Cocaine comes from the cocoa plant, and if you ate the leaf, you'd be fine. But when they concentrate it in such a high dose, it becomes cocaine. It's highly addictive, and it can be lethal. The same holds true for high fructose corn syrup. So they reduce the corn to such a concentrated level. It's really, really sweet. So they put it in products to help preserve the products, make them have a shelf life, and make them sweet. So they taste good. The problem is, number one, you're taking in like a high dose of sugar that's in the product. But here's the longer term, and you can see how this has spread across America. You think of ketchup, it's in ketchup. How many kids eat ketchup? When you eat food, you have a hormone that's released from your gut that says, tray's full, stop eating. Tray, stop eating the steak. You know, your stomach's full, right? So leptin goes to your brain and tells your brain it's full. High fructose corn syrup reduces and eliminates and kills leptin production. So you can see over time, you're not getting those signals that you're full. So you tend to you continue to overeat, you eat too much, and you feel hungry a lot. So just by having my challengers reduce high fructose corn syrup, they feel better. They don't overeat as much. Like they're starting to reverse that process and build those leptin production. So little chemicals that are just in everyday foods that people don't even think about work against weight loss. And people wonder why it's so hard, and it's those chemicals, which again, Shakeology doesn't have any of them. But that's one huge tip I can give you guys to share with your challengers. Go ahead, Nikki.
I was just going to say that I love all that stuff, because it's like so true. You know, all the mind, body, the cellular level. I love all that stuff. But I had read Master Your Metabolism. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but for any of you guys who just want to understand all that chemical hormone combination stuff, it's really good.
Mm-hmm. It's fascinating. So that when like clean eating is truly like the best thing, and the more chemicals you can reduce, the better off and easier it's going to be to lose weight. So, all right,
Nikki,
guys.
what was the name of that book?
It's by Jillian Michaels. It's Master Your Metabolism.
Okay.
It goes through every single like ghrelin. How do you say it? Ghrelin? Am I saying it right, Shay?
What are you saying?
Ghrelin? Am I saying it wrong?
Ghrelin? I don't know what that is.
It's the hormone you produce at night. GH. Okay. That just goes through every single hormone and like how it affects your health.
Yeah, I know more about the thyroid than I do that. So like soy is horrible for the thyroid. Eliminate soy. And soy is so cheap, and that's why it's in so many products, because they can make it for really little money and a huge profit margin. All right, guys. Well, I've got another call at 9 o'clock, so I'm going to go. But if you guys have any questions at all, you can Facebook message me. And thank you for having me on the call tonight. Mel, it was great. Thank you. I appreciate it. And Candace, you guys are great. Good luck to you guys. Everybody nod your head. I'll see you guys at Summit.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.